All right. Hey guys, John here. I have over here my ESP Ltd EC1000T in charcoal burst. A beautiful, beautiful guitar that I got, I would say, early this year or last year or so. But yeah, I really like this thing. I changed the pickups, and that's what this video is about, because this guitar came stock with the Fishman Fluence classic open core pickups, which are nice pickups, but I wanted something with a bit more aggression and a bit more output and a bit more clarity. So I sent an email to the folks from Fishman, and they were kind enough to send me a pair of their new Fishman Fluence modern open core pickups. Really cool. I think they look great in this guitar. So in this video, we're going to see how they sound and also talk about what I think of them. And let's start right away with a clip of the bridge pickup with a heavy tone and also comparing voice 1 and voice 2. Take a listen. Great! So that was a clip of this guitar with the Fishman Fluence modern open core pickup in the bridge, which is the ceramic pickup. And I switched between voice 2 and voice 1. So by default, I have it set to voice 2, which is the passive voicing. And then if you pull up this pot, it goes to the active voicing. I thought that sounded great. I used my quad Cortex for that with a capture from one of my capture packs, the Lichtlaerm Audio Prometheus capture pack to be precise, which you can get in my Ko-Fi web store, links below. And I used an ML SoundLab Reflex IR for the captones with the Gent speaker option. Sounded great. So last year or earlier this year, I don't remember exactly when, I bought 3 ESP Ltd Eclipses. This is one of them. Now this is the non-CTM version. The others are the CTM versions, the custom versions. They have the binding on the back and stuff. This one does not. But yeah, check out this top. It's just such a beautiful guitar. Sounds great, plays great. But all those guitars came with the Fishman Fluence classic open core pickups. And even though I liked those pickups, I replaced them all. They were just not really my thing. I'm more of a rocker or metal player myself. I prefer heavy tones in general, although I do from time to time play grunge and clean tones, of course. But I think that the pickups that I have in all those guitars now are also very versatile. And this set is also quite versatile, surprisingly versatile actually. But yeah, the classic open cores, they were just a little bit too dull sounding for me, and they did not have the aggression that I wanted out of the pickups. So, Fishman Fluence modern open cores with the blades, really cool. I like how these look, and I like how they make the guitar look a little bit more unique. So that's great. These have the black chrome, but they also come in different colors. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about the bridge pickup that you heard. So again, the ceramic pickup over here. You have a bunch of voicings, 3 voicings to be precise. You've got the passive voicing, voice 2, the active voicing, voice 1, and then also the split mode or the single coil mode. I don't really use that for my own music typically, but I will let you hear how that sounds in a minute. So the Fishman modern pickups in general are quite interesting. I remember the first time when I played them, I got a guitar from Schecter, which was an SLS Elite C7 baritone 7-string, and for some reason in that particular guitar, I didn't really gel with them, but that's a bunch of years ago. Now I do have the standard moderns and some other ones in a bunch of my guitars, and I do like them a lot. I've grown to really appreciate them and love them. The thing is, you just gotta know how to use them and what to use them for and know what to expect, basically. So voice 2, the passive voicing sounds more dynamic, like a passive pickup. The top end is a bit more open and pokey, and the bottom end is a bit more fat and thick. And then when you switch to voice 1, which is the active voicing, it sounds more like a hot-rodded active pickup. Kind of like an EMG, but more tight and clear and focused than your standard EMG 81. So if you're very much used to EMGs, voice 2 might be a little bit too dynamic and fat for you. And if you go to voice 1, it might be a bit more tight than what you're used to. So what you're gonna need to do is adjust the tone and think about like, hey, I'm using the active voicing, which sounds very tight and focused. I'm gonna need to pair that with an amplifier sound that complements that. So if you're gonna use that active voicing with a very tight and aggressive amplifier, like an EVH 5150, for example, it might be a little bit too aggressive or scratchy for your taste. So, or you need to just dial in the amp, to suit that voicing well as for the other voicing. So for me, voice 2, so the passive voicing tends to work really well with those tight amplifiers. And then when I'm using an amplifier that's a little bit more fat and loose, that could use a little bit of definition, I like to switch to voice 1. So it's kind of like activating a tube screamer circuit in front of the amplifier like that. It really tightens it up and makes it very clear, tight, and focused. And I hope you could hear that in the sound example in the beginning. But again, I really love both sounds and I use both. But maybe there's a little bit of a learning curve there when you're not used to the Fishman Fluence modern pickups. You're just going to have to get to know them a little bit and experiment with them a little bit and get to know which sort of amplifiers or amp models, if you use a modeler, they sound good with, okay? Because again, voice 1, so the active voicing sounds a lot more focused and tight than voice 2, so the passive voicing. But it's wonderful that you get both voicings and even more. That's just one of the main things that I really like about the Fishman Fluence pickups in general. Now, let's also talk about the neck pickup. I believe this is the Alnico pickup. Really nice. I love that, especially for clean tones. So let's take a listen to a clean demo and a comparison again of voice 2 and voice 1. This time I'm going to use my brand new Fractal Audio FM9 Mark II Turbo with one of the Bass Guy amp models. And in the cab block, again, I'm going to use an ML SoundLab Reflex IR, this time with the greenback. I'm going to use a little bit of room or studio reverb at the end and a compressor up front. Let's go ahead and check it out. right, that sounded nice. So the Fishman Fluence modern neck pickup is probably one of my all-time favorite neck pickups for clean tones. It just sounds beautiful and very round. And the fact that you have two voicings, again, makes for a very versatile setup, which is wonderful. Voice 2, which was the first or default voicing, again, is the passive voicing. Sounds very sparkly, bright, and dynamic and open. And then when you switch to the active voicing, so voice 1, it gets more compressed and thick and a bit more mid-focus. So slightly darker and more full and more loud, which is basically my preferred sound for clean tones. It reminds me a little bit of the old EMG 60, which of course was also used by Metallica and stuff. So yeah, great clean tones to be had there. Wonderful. Now what I'd like to do is just play one simple chord and switch through all the settings. So we're going to start with the bridge position, try the 3 voicings, including the single coil, then to the middle position with the same thing, and then to the neck position. For that, I'll just use a simple ML SoundLab amped plugin with the JCM 800 plugin, the 800 plugin, with some default simple settings, just a low gain tone, so you guys can hear all the different voicings. Check it out. Cool. So that's quite a versatile setup you got there in a guitar like this. 2 pickups and basically 3 settings per pickup. I love these pickups in this guitar a lot. As I said, I already really like the standard Fishman Fluence modern pickups, especially in my extended range guitars, so my 7-string and stuff like that. I also really enjoy the RZK set, which is in my blue EC1000T CTM. I did a video on that. Really like those. They have a little bit more output. They are loud and they are perfect for a Rammstein type sound. And then in my white one, so the vintage gold satin one, I have the Will Adler set, which were also sent to me by Fishman. And those are also great. That bridge pickup from that set is a little bit less extreme from both, going from voice 1 to voice 2 and vice versa. And I think that the active voicing in there has a little bit more low end, so it's a little bit less aggressively tight than the moderns. But yeah, in this guitar it works out really well. But remember, you have to pair the pickups with the right guitar. As I said in the beginning, when I tried the Fishman Fluence modern 7-string for the very first time, it was paired with a guitar that just didn't work. It was too thin and too tight sounding. But in this chunky guitar, and in all the other guitars that I have the Fishmans in right now, they work really, really well. So yeah, I like the Fishman Fluence modern open core pickups a lot. I think they sound great, they look great, and they really add something to this guitar. I enjoy playing this guitar much more now because of the extra oomph, but they are still quite versatile. I mean, especially with voice 2, you can get some great classic tones as well. The clean tones are wonderful, and you can even get some single coil tones out of this thing, so that's pretty awesome. I hope you enjoyed this video and this little review. Please note that I'm now also an affiliate with Thomann and Sweetwater, so if you want to buy something from them, please do it through my affiliate links. I'll put them below. That really helps the channel out. Of course, I also have my own Ko-Fi web store where you can buy my Neural DSP Quad Cortex capture packs and all that good stuff. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.